What's up guys, Sean here, and today I'm sharpening up the Civivi on my Tsprof, and this is the first knife that I'm sharpening using my new single standard clamp. Just got this bad boy, super happy with it. I've went through all my stones except my final stone. I went with the 100, 220, 400, 800, and now 1200 CBN stones from Hapstone. These are the Start series stones. You can get those on Gritomatic. That's where I got mine. They're maybe like 30 something dollars a piece. Really good budget option for a highly efficient, low maintenance, long lasting diamond stone. Definitely a big step up to like your standard Tsprof diamond plates that come with the kits. And they are less maintenance and cut faster than the resin bonded stones like the Veneva Ryans. But this isn't going to be a huge instructional video or anything. Just gonna show you me using this bad boy. I have the blade marked with the Sharpie. I mark it constantly throughout the progression. I have my stone. I always clean my stones before and after, and I use either a honing oil, mineral oil, gunny shines, or you can just use water. And here I have mineral oil. I tend to like the oils more because they don't dry out and they don't pose any risk of corrosion when you are using it with a carbon non-stainless steel. So I just put like a little drop on it like that, rub it around with my finger, and if your stone has any steel particles, you know, kind of trapped in between the porous surface of the diamonds and the material that it is bonded into, it'll turn dark, and then you can just wipe it away. And then, you know, you just want a really light coating of oil, and that helps save the life of your stones. It also increases the efficiency, improves your sharpening results, improves pretty much everything all around. So definitely a good thing to do. And use your stoppers. These will keep you from riding up onto the face of the blade or coming off of the blade and coming down onto it with the pole or the guide rod and putting a nice dent or chip in your edge. So I'm using literally no pressure. Let the stone do the work. Use the Sharpie. As soon as you have all the Sharpie removed, there is no need to keep on, keep on going. So that's another good reason to use the Sharpie, so you aren't overdoing it and then risking rounding off the tip, or staying on one side too long, or there's a ton of reasons, but I mean, the most simple reason is simply efficiency. Boom. And by the way, my first impressions of using this clamp, I absolutely love it. Was the best investment that I've made for this system so far, besides the CBN stones. You get those two things, you are in good shape. With the milled clamps that it came with, from the time that the first knife that I sharpened on the Tsprof up until some of the last ones, I would get weird results with the heels and the tips, and I could work my way around it and, you know, make do and have my edges still come out good. But man, it was very frustrating, very stressful in many instances, and I couldn't figure out exactly what the reason was. The only theory that I have is that maybe due to the increased rigidity of this system, you know, it's so solid, so little flex, that could have something to do with it, especially when it comes to heels and tips, because that's, you know, two kind of sensitive areas. It's two leverage points, and when you're using a center clamp or a single clamp, you know, you have a little bit more give at the tip and at the heel, versus when you're using the whole milled clamps, you know, you have no flex, no forgiveness at the tip or the heel. So it's very likely that that has something to do with that issue. But throughout the sharpening, I mean, this is only one example, one knife, so I'll have to see how it goes over the next, you know, several knives that I sharpen. But so far, it's looking like that issue is completely resolved. And another reason that I think that it's most likely something to do with being almost too rigid was causing the problem is because this center clamp is also one of Tsprof's spring style clamps. So it's two thinner pieces of steel, which they refer to as springs, and they are screwed in to the mounting, like a mounting block, and then it's all, the front of the spring is screwed into the clamp itself. Now, when they use the term spring or whatever, don't let that give you the wrong impression, because look, I'm pushing down on this. It's not moving like a spring as you would think of it. All right, but what it does do is it offers more give and more flex than the whole milled clamps do, but it's such a small amount, it's not going to keep you from getting insane sharpness. It might even help you, because one of the first things I noticed when I switched to the Tsprof was that I was having those issues with the tip and the heel, and I really just couldn't fine tune and work the profile. You know, if I need to even out a profile or something along those lines, I had a lot more of a hard time than I would when I used my KME. On the KME, man, I had it mastered. I knew, you know, what places to add a little pressure or remove a little bit of pressure, or maybe put a little bit of pressure towards the back or the front of the stone. And I just, you know, had it down to where I didn't even have to think about it. I just was one with the system and knew how to work out a profile so that it looked, you know, beautiful and perfect. Well, with this system, that was not the case, and I had to basically relearn and readapt. But now that I have this single standard clamp, oh my god, it's like night and day. It's so much easier. Very happy with it. And I did have some people mentioning that, you know, it's much better when you get the, you know, double reinforce the springs. So I guess you would stack another spring on top of the, you know, the top and the bottom. But I don't think I will be doing that anytime soon. I don't really see any need for it. I couldn't tell you if it improves it or not because I haven't tried it for myself. But just based off of using this for the first time, it is absolutely amazing just the way it is. The only thing that I would recommend you do with it is PLASTIDIP, you know, the front portion of the clamp where it is coming in contact with the face of the blade. So just the actual clamping surface, and that really helps you get the blade locked in there. You're not going to have to worry about it sliding around or anything. If you notice, I don't even mark the clamp location anymore. Completely not necessary because this isn't going anywhere. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything I have to mention about this new clamp so far. Of course, you know, that may change. The more I sharpen, the more, you know, things that I experience, then I can share those experiences. Fuck. Whew. See, that's why it's important to go slow and pay attention to what you're doing. I've never been great at focusing on something and explaining something at the same time, so maybe I'll just wait to do that. But yeah, so far so good. Highly recommend the single standard clamp. And another thing that I had some people ask me is, should I get the standard clamp or the Fillet clamp? Because, you know, very rarely are they both in stock somewhere at the same time. And the guy who messaged me was mentioning he had the opportunity to buy the Fillet, the single, I keep wanting to say center, but they refer to it as the single clamp. So single Fillet clamp, and I haven't used a single Fillet clamp. This is the standard. The Fillet clamp is supposed to, it's designed for much, you know, very thin blades like chef knives and stuff. It's not necessarily meant for the same thing like this standard is. The standard is what you want. This one is designed for regular folding pocket knives and that size range of blade geometry. There is no issue with getting low angles. This is currently at 14 degrees per side. It doesn't look like it because it's very thin behind the edge, but I mean, you can, if you have a Tsprof Kadet Pro, look how high up I have this. It's almost up to the top of the thing. I only have a couple more dash marks left. And by the gap between the stone, just looking at the gap between the stone and the clamp, I could go down at least 2 more degrees before I would risk touching the clamp or rubbing the clamp. So I don't foresee any issues whatsoever with not being able to get low enough. I was able to get a rock solid clamp. There's no, you know, up and down, no side to side, no rocking, no twisting. Very solid. I love it. I'm very, very happy. I decided to pony up and spend the insane $100 that it costs to get one of these clamps. But if you sharpen a lot and you're coming from a system that is a central single clamp style system where you have one clamp, this is the way to go. You will be much happier using this style. Your results will probably be much better, and you know, it's nice because it's something that I am, you know, have so much experience on this kind of style of clamp, you know, having it clamped in one spot on the center of the blade. I know how to manipulate everything to make it do what I want it to do. So if that's the same case with you, this is the way to go. If you watched my last video, or if you missed my last video when I unboxed this clamp, I ordered this from Europe because obviously they're out of stock everywhere. I took a chance on this website called Knives and Tools. I I think with shipping it was 110. So the prices are in the euros. I didn't know what the actual price was going to be until I got to the card and everything and put my PayPal in. Then it translated to dollars, and they use DHL for shipping. I saw shipping estimates on some stuff from overseas, like for example, stuff coming from Belarus on eBay, that was estimated that it was going to take like 3 weeks or a month. This got here in 2 days or 2.5 days, which is, I have no idea how they did it, but $20 of this clamp, or $20 out of the total was the shipping cost. And honestly, I'm not even mad at that because it got here in 2.5 days. That's better than Gritomatic does most of the time, and they're here in the United States. So, and they don't offer free shipping. So, I mean, what the hell? You know, you're paying for the shipping and it's still pretty slow. But I will say, the last couple orders I've gotten from Gritomatic came in a very reasonable amount of time. Probably in the like 3-day range, which I'm not mad about that. But anyways, yeah, this is probably starting to get long now. Just wanted to get on here, give you guys a little bit of feedback on this clamp so far, and touch base about some of my experiences with this Tsprof. And yeah, so I will be sharing more with you as I continue to use it. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just drop it in the comments. I will, do my best to get back to you in a timely manner. And yeah, love you guys. Jesus loves you. Stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.